The Spanish expedition led by Gaspar de Portola in 1769 was the first European discovery of the San Francisco Bay. Many Europeans sailed up and down the coast but never discovered the bay. Gaspar de Portola made a big impact on the San Francisco Bay because he discovered it on accident while in search of Monterey. Gaspar de Portola led an expedition with Father Junipero Serra on May 15, 1769 on horseback and foot from Mission San Fernando Velocada in Baja California. This expedition composed of 2 ships and 2 land parties, with Portola's party consisting of 64 people. On July 29, 1769, they reached the San Diego Bay. Shortly after they arrived, they eagerly set off to find Monterey on August 2nd. When they reached Monterey, they failed to recognize it and continued to go up north of California. On October 31st, they had reached the San Francisco Bay. While they were there, they explored many localities in the region south, which had later become the Golden Gate. Failing to realize the importance of the bay, they returned to San Diego and later on went back to search for Monterey.
Many explorers came close to the San Francisco Bay but did not find it. Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo was one of these explorers. He led the first European expedition to California. He traveled in a ship called the San Salvador in 1542. He discovered San Diego, Monterey Bay, and Mayaflan Point Reyes. One of the possible reasons he didn't find the San Francisco Bay was heavy coastal fog. Sebastian Vizcaino also explored California. He traveled northward from Mexico to California in a ship called the San Diego. He rediscovered Monterey Bay. He also discovered part of the San Francisco Bay. He came close but passed the bay's entrance. Like many others, he may have not seen the bay because of heavy coastal fog.
One of the first Spaniards to document and record information about the San Francisco Bay was none other than Juan Manuel de Ayala. Ayala started out as a lieutenant for the Spanish Navy and eventually rose to the rank of captain. The newly made Captain Ayala was assigned to take command of the San Carlos, which was planned to find a marked point in modern San Francisco. They sailed from San Blas, Spain to Monterey where they replenished supplies. They continued sailing until they landed on Angel Island. He stayed there for 10 days and returned to San Blas with a full account of the geography of the San Francisco Bay. Ayala highlighted its advantages as a potential harbor. For example, there were no clouds in sight, and the local Native American tribe was friendly to the Spaniards. Francis Herbert once said, "The beginning of knowledge is the discovery of something we don't know." And Ayala helped start the Spaniards' knowledge of the bay by discovering and recording information on the San Francisco Bay. In fact, Ayala paved the way in terms of discovery of the bay for future explorers.
Juan Bautista de Anza was a Spanish explorer and the son of a military officer. He was born on July 1736 in Fronteras, New Spain. Juan was perfect for this expedition. In 1772, he proposed this mission to Alta California and was approved by the King of Spain. Having fulfilled this mission from Viceroy, he continued on with his group and Father Pedro heading on to Alta California. On March 25, 1776, Anza wrote in his diary, "Arrived at the Arroyo of San Jose of Cupertino." The diary also states that where they camp for the night, they can see San Francisco. He reached San Francisco with his group on March 28, 1776. He was the first European descendant to reach Alta California from Mexico. Since he was able to find a public route to Alta California, hundreds of settlers were able to build towns and settle there. One of these settlements was San Francisco.
The Presidio of San Francisco, Mission Dolores, and Mission San Jose are important landmarks of the Bay. Missions in the San Francisco Bay were built to evangelize or convert the nearby Miwok natives. One important mission is the Mission Dolores in San Francisco, founded in 1776 and is the oldest surviving structure in San Francisco. Built by Spanish soldiers and priests, was originally built with logs, straw, and adobe. The mission eventually became a large ton of saloons as private landowners bought pieces of land during the gold rush. Across the bay on the San Francisco Peninsula is the Presidio of San Francisco. This national landmark was established in 1776 by Spain to be the center of military protection for their colonists in the bay. The Presidio in 1846 was sieged by the U.S. and became the military assembly point for Pacific wars such as World War II with Japan. South of the Presidio is the Mission San Jose. Mission San Jose was established in 1796 and was a very large and successful mission because of its natural resources, such as water, fertile ground, stones, and adobe, which attracted many people. The mission was the center of industry and agriculture until Governor Pio Pico sold the property to help in the Mexican War of Independence. The property became a group of hotels, saloons, and bars until Abraham Lincoln captured it and returned it to a Catholic church.
Since the explorations of Portola, Ayala, and Danza, many changes have taken place in the San Francisco Bay. The bay when explored by Portola, Ayala, and Danza was a big beach of sand dunes, dune scrubs, and trees. The bay then had a clean shoreline, and the size of the bay was 550,000 acres. Today the bay is 256,000 acres. In the mid-19th century, wetlands and inlands were deliberately filled in, reducing the bay by one-third its original size. Recently, those areas have been restored, causing people confusion about the bay size. If Portola, Ayala, or Anza visited the San Francisco Bay today, it would be difficult for them to recognize because of all the changes that have taken place in terms of the bay size. Many changes have taken place in the bay since the explorations of Portola, Ayala, and Anza. Some good, some bad, but all have affected the environment.